All right. Ready to dive into something totally different today.
Let's do it.
Okay, so today we're looking at the Carnevale di Massafra
Ah,
over in Puglia, Italy.
beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, and we're going to be using this Wikipedia article as our guide.
Sounds good.
So picture this. Vibrant celebrations, incredible floats, and traditions that go back centuries.
Centuries. Wow.
But get this,
Yep.
this Carnival, it doesn't follow that usual pre-Lenten schedule.
Interesting.
It kicks off on January 17th.
That is unusual.
Yeah, and we're going to unravel how this local festival is
Oh,
like a window into this community's soul.
I love that.
And trust me,
Okay.
you won't believe some of the twists and turns along the way.
Well, now I'm intrigued.
So what's fascinating about that January 17th start date
Yeah.
is that it's tied to this feast of San Antonio Abate,
Okay.
which is all about the blessing of the animals.
Oh, wow.
You can see how deeply rooted this festival is in Massafra's agricultural past.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
It's like the whole town comes together to celebrate
Mm-hmm.
those animals that are so vital to their way of life.
Makes sense.
And there's even a local saying, de Saint Antoine Macheriswan,
Okay.
which means from St. Anthony, masks and sounds.
Ooh, I like that.
So that kind of sets the stage for like a month of festivities.
Wow. A whole month.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
And when we say festivities,
Yeah.
we're talking bonfires,
Yeah.
cheese pulling contests,
Cheese pulling contests. That's a new one.
games of skill and agility,
Yeah. Right.
and just those lively dances to get everyone moving.
Love it.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
Each Thursday leading up to Lent
Mm-hmm.
has a unique name and meaning.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, how about Thursday of the Monks?
Thursday of the Monks?
Yeah,
That sounds kind of tame.
right.
Yeah.
But you've also got Thursday of the Priests, the Thursday of the Cuckolds, and the Thursday of the Fools.
Thursday of the Cuckolds, huh?
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would a community have a Thursday of the Cuckolds?
That is a good question. That's not your typical, like, festival theme.
No, you're right. It makes you think about, like, the social dynamics.
Yeah.
And maybe even, like, a bit of mischievous humor.
Uh-huh. I was thinking the same thing.
That's woven into their history.
Exactly.
These names suggest a community that doesn't shy away from, like,
Yeah.
poking fun at themselves,
Uh-huh.
even when it comes to sensitive topics, right?
It's true.
So it's a glimpse into a different way of thinking about, like,
Okay.
social norms and hierarchy.
Really different from what we might be used to.
Yeah. So we've got these ancient roots.
Right.
But how did things evolve into the more structured
Yeah.
Carnevale di Massafra we know today?
He must have changed a lot over time.
Okay, so imagine it's 1951,
Okay, 1951.
and a group of, like, young pranksters decide to have some fun.
Oh, I like where this is going already.
I know, right? So they plaster the town with posters
Mm-hmm.
announcing a grand bullfight.
A bullfight in Italy.
Yeah,
Interesting.
creating this huge buzz.
Okay, so they're really hyping this up.
And on the supposed day of the bullfight,
Mm-hmm.
what shows up?
Oh, I bet I know where this is going.
Not a real bull,
Uh-huh.
a magnificent papier-mâché creation.
Of course. A classic prank.
They paraded it through the streets
No way.
with, like, mock bullfighters.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And even, like, a veterinarian,
I love it.
all riding broomsticks.
Talk about a prank that backfired. I mean, in the best way possible.
It really did. This lighthearted act of mischief,
Mm-hmm.
it sparked something incredible.
Like what?
By the next year,
Uh-huh.
they held the first official competition
Okay.
for masked groups.
Wow, so they made it an actual event.
And just a year later, in 1953,
Mm-hmm.
the municipality made it official.
So, like, the town was fully on board.
Yeah. The Carnevale di Massafra was born.
That's incredible. From a playful prank
Right.
to, like, a cornerstone of their cultural identity,
Yeah.
that's quite a journey.
But we can't forget about those incredible parade floats we mentioned earlier.
The floats, right? Those are a big part of what makes this Carnivale so unique.
Absolutely. And the art of cartapesta,
Cartapest.
or papier-mâché as we might know it,
Okay,
is at the heart of it all.
that makes sense.
These aren't just like simple decorations.
Yeah.
They're masterpieces that take months
Wow.
of painstaking work by incredibly skilled artisans.
So walk me through this cartapesta process.
Okay, so they start by shaping the desired form in clay,
Mm-hmm.
capturing every tiny detail.
Okay.
Then they create plaster casts from the clay.
Okay.
which act as molds for the papier-mâché.
I see. So it's a very intricate process.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then layer upon layer of paper
Uh-huh.
is meticulously applied and shaped.
It's amazing how they create such detailed figures with just paper.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, it's all about, like, the painting
Right.
and polishing.
To bring those creations to life.
With those vibrant colors.
Yeah, they're so colorful and detailed.
And that, like, gleaming finish.
And this whole process, it takes like 4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Almost half a year on each float.
That's some serious dedication.
That's true dedication to their craft.
It must be pretty challenging, too.
It must be. I mean, working with delicate paper, shaping it to create these larger-than-life figures,
Right.
it's really impressive.
And scenes.
I bet they face a lot of challenges.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, like, working in cramped spaces
Right. I can imagine.
with limited resources.
That makes their work even more impressive.
Because it sounds like there's more to these floats than just their visual appeal, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The Carnaval di Massafra isn't just about dazzling spectacle.
Right.
It's a platform for social and political commentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
These artisans use their art to voice their concerns, hopes,
Okay.
and even criticisms,
Wow.
sometimes directly targeting the local government.
So they're using these beautiful, intricate floats
Yes.
to make political statements.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's incredible.
They've been fighting for proper facilities
Oh, wow.
to create their masterpieces for decades.
Yeah, so like,
It's a constant tension between
Yeah.
the artisans and the local government,
wow.
and the floats become their voice.
Fascinating.
There's this project called the Cittadella del Carnevale,
Okay.
which would be a dedicated space for the artisans to work in, like optimal conditions.
Right.
But for years, it was just a promise.
So how did they use the floats to, like,
Yeah.
express their frustration?
So sometimes subtly, sometimes more directly.
Like what?
In 1994, one float was titled, from the novel of Alessandro Manzoni, Here Are the Promised Sheds. It's a direct reference to the unfulfilled promise
Oh, wow.
of proper facilities.
So they're being kind of cheeky.
Oh,
with that.
Totally. It's like they're saying, we're still waiting.
And guess what? This tension,
Yeah.
it even led to strikes
Really?
and protests.
They went on strike because of the lack of facilities.
Yeah,
That's taking their art and their message seriously.
they did. And it shows how deeply intertwined the carnival is with, like, the social and political fabric
Right.
of the community.
Yeah, it's not just about having fun.
Right.
It's about raising awareness, pushing for change,
Yeah.
and making their voices heard.
So the carnival is like a giant stage where they can perform their art and their message.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
And one of the most powerful examples of this is the Tivitos movement.
Now, you mentioned the Tivitos movement earlier.
Right.
But I have to admit,
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what it was all about.
So the Tivitos movement was all about putting pressure on mayoral candidates,
Okay.
the artisans, and the community.
Yeah.
They wanted the Cittadella project to be a top priority.
So they were really serious about this.
They wanted action, not just empty promises.
So it was like a grassroots campaign,
Exactly.
using the carnival as a platform to hold politicians accountable.
And you know what? Their persistence paid off.
Really?
Recently, funds were allocated for the Cittadella project.
Wow.
Thanks in no small part to the Tivitos movement.
That's amazing.
It's a testament to the power of their voices
Right.
and their unwavering commitment to their craft.
It's amazing how a festival that started with a lighthearted prank evolved into a platform for social change.
It really can.
It makes you realize that tradition can be a powerful force for progress.
And that brings us to the culmination of all this artistry and the social commentary,
Okay.
the Grand Parade.
All right, let's talk about the parade. I can only imagine the energy
It's electric.
and the excitement this brings to the streets of Massafra.
Yeah.
It's like all those months of hard work, creativity, and even, like, political tension.
Right.
It finally explodes in
Yeah.
a burst of color and sound.
You're getting the picture. It takes place on the last Sunday and Tuesday of Carnival, and it draws visitors from all over.
Wow.
What's really heartwarming is that they've recently added children's parades.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, making sure that the younger generations are carrying on these traditions.
That's so important.
It is.
Ensuring those traditions are passed down.
But amidst all this joyous chaos,
Yeah.
there's also a moment of reflection.
Oh, okay.
The the Death of King Carnival procession.
The Death of King Carnival.
It's a fascinating blend of symbolism and spectacle.
What happens?
So it was revived in 2003 after being absent for almost 50 years.
Wow.
The Death of King Carnival marks the end of the festivities.
Right.
And the beginning of Lent.
Oh, I see.
Imagine an effigy of the king being burned or tossed into a ravine.
It's like they're letting go of earthly pleasures.
Yeah.
And embracing a time for, like, spiritual reflection.
There's a certain beauty in that cycle.
There is.
And speaking of characters, have you met Gibergallo and Lupagise?
I can't say that I have.
Okay. Well, they're the official masks of the Carnevale di Massafra.
Oh, interesting.
Each representing a different side of their local identity.
Okay, so tell me more about these masks.
So Gibergallo is the cheerful clown, always dressed to the nines, with a rooster on a leash.
A rooster on a leash.
And then there's Lupaguse, embodying the traditional Massafrese farmer.
Got it.
With his satchel and wide-brimmed hat.
It sounds like they're quite the pair.
And what's interesting is these masks weren't officially recognized until 2008.
So even long-held traditions can evolve and be formally recognized over time.
It shows that culture is always changing.
Yeah.
Even if it's rooted in the past.
It's like traditions are like rivers.
I like that.
They follow a certain course, but they're constantly shaped by the surrounding landscape.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
And like a river, the Carnevale di Massafra carries with it the stories and memories of generations past.
Yeah.
Flowing into the present.
Absolutely.
And shaping the future.
Before we move on to the specific winners and themes, what stands out to you most about this Carnival so far?
You know, what strikes me is how a simple prank could ignite such a powerful cultural phenomenon.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It speaks volumes about the spirit of this community and their ability to, like, transform a lighthearted moment into a tradition that reflects their identity, their struggles, and their aspirations. It's like the Carnival itself is a living, breathing entity.
I love that.
Shaped by the hearts and minds of those who participate in it.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And as we delve into the winning floats and themes, keep in mind how each one reflects a particular moment in time.
Right.
Capturing the spirit of the community and the issues that resonated with them.
All right, let's explore those winning floats.
Let's do it.
I'm ready to be transported back in time.
Time travel through Carnival.
Yeah. And see how the Carnevale di Massafra has evolved through the years.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it's all changed. Looking back at some of these winning floats.
Yeah.
It's like flipping through a visual history book, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Each float tells a story. Reflecting the social and political climate of the time, the pop culture trends, and the issues that were close to the community's heart.
Right. It's like each float is like a time capsule. Preserving a snapshot.
Absolutely.
Of a particular moment.
It is.
In Massafra's history.
So let's crack open some of these time capsules.
Okay, I'm ready.
What kind of themes and titles
have captured the imagination of the community over the years?
Let's hear it.
Okay, well, one that sticks out to me is from 1985.
Okay, 1985.
Rockefeller Animation Express. Towards a Better World.
Whoa.
You can almost feel the optimism of the 80s in that title.
Yeah, definitely.
The idea that progress and global connection were leading to a brighter future.
It's fascinating how these floats capture not just, like, events, but also the overall mood of the era.
Exactly. Fast forward to 2003.
Okay, 2003.
And who takes center stage?
Shrek.
Shrek.
The lovable ogre who won the hearts of audiences worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
It's a reminder that even traditional celebrations embrace, you know, popular culture, reflecting what people are talking about, what they're enjoying.
And let's not forget about the political side of things, too.
Oh, the political side, yeah.
You mentioned earlier how the Carnival has been a platform for social commentary.
Absolutely.
Are there any winning floats that really stand out in that regard?
In 2006, the winning float was titled Prodi, Cavaliere Conquering Italy.
Interesting.
This was during a time of intense political rivalry.
Yeah.
And the float seems to poke fun at the political landscape of the time.
Right.
Highlighting the personalities and dynamics at play.
It's almost like, like political cartoons coming to life on these floats.
They're not just beautiful, they're making people think, question, and maybe even laugh at the absurdities of politics.
That's the power of satire, right?
Yeah, it is.
It can address serious issues with a touch of humor.
Exactly.
And it's not just confined to local politics either.
Right. Remember those artisans who have taken their talents to the renowned Carnaval di Viareggio?
Oh, right. Yeah, you mentioned that some of the artisans from Massafra, they've actually competed and won. At one of Italy's most famous carnivals.
Your success on a national stage is remarkable.
It really is.
Shows that the skills and creativity honed in Massafra are recognized and celebrated beyond their own community.
It's like this hidden gem that's starting to shine even brighter.
I like that.
So what does the success of these artisans on a bigger stage tell us about the Carnevale di Massafra itself?
Well, I think it highlights a crucial point about tradition, right?
Okay.
The Carnevale di Massafra, it's not like a museum piece frozen in time.
Okay.
It's a dynamic expression of culture.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving, adapting, pushing boundaries. But staying true to its core values.
It's like a tree with deep roots.
I like that.
But its branches are reaching out, exploring new directions, and interacting with the wider world.
That's a perfect analogy.
The Carnevale di Massafra demonstrates that tradition can be this powerful force for creativity, social commentary, and community building, all while embracing change and growth.
It's inspiring to see how a local festival can have such a profound impact, you know?
It really is.
Not just within its own community, but also on a larger scale.
And as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to remember that the Carnevale di Massafra is just one example of the countless festivals and traditions that exist around the world.
Each one offering a unique window into the soul of a community, reminding us that even in a world that's constantly changing, there's this deep-seated human need for connection, for shared experiences, and for the expression of joy, creativity, and even dissent.
You know, it makes you realize that while the specific customs and rituals may differ, the underlying human emotions that drive these celebrations are universal.
They are.
Whether it's the exhilaration of a parade, the solemnity of a ritual, or the camaraderie of shared laughter.
Absolutely.
These moments connect us to something larger than ourselves, something that transcends geographical boundaries and cultural differences.
As we reflect on the Carnevale di Massafra, I think it's worth considering how these types of celebrations play a role in our own lives.
What traditions do we cherish?
Exactly.
How have they evolved over time?
And what do they reveal about our values, our history, our aspirations?
Those are some really thought-provoking questions.
It makes you think.
And, you know, it all comes back to this amazing Wikipedia article.
It is an amazing article.
It's incredible how much information and insight you can find
so much
in something that's like so readily available.
It's really a testament to the power of collective knowledge, you know, and the dedication of those who contribute to platforms like Wikipedia.
It allows us to explore and learn about cultures and traditions.
It does.
From all corners of the world.
Expanding our understanding of humanity.
And the richness of our shared heritage. It's a reminder that there's always more to learn.
Always.
More to explore. More to appreciate.
About the world around us.
You know, the Carnevale di Massafra has been a fantastic journey.
It has.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
This deep dive has hopefully sparked your curiosity and inspired you to learn more about the traditions that make our world so vibrant and diverse.
Absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe one day you'll even experience the magic of the Carnevale di Massafra firsthand.
That would be incredible.
And for our listener, if you're ever feeling a little lost or disconnected, remember the power of tradition.
Okay.
The energy of a community coming together and the sheer joy of celebrating something meaningful.
You might just find that spark of connection you've been looking for. You know, it's crazy how this deep dive into the Carnevale di Massafra, it's taken us on such a journey.
It really has.
Like from those ancient rituals and playful pranks to political satire and artistic triumphs.
Yeah.
It shows that there's so much more to these celebrations than meets the eye.
Like peeling back the layers of an onion, right?
I like that.
Each layer reveals something new and fascinating.
About the community, their history, their values.
And the more you learn,
the
more you realize how much there is still to discover.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways for our listener today.
Yeah.
You know, we've only scratched the surface.
It's true.
Of the Carnaval di Massafra.
But this deep dive, it's given us a taste of its richness and complexity.
Think of it as a starting point for your own exploration.
There are countless stories to uncover, traditions to delve into, and artisans whose creativity will leave you speechless.
And the beauty is, this exploration, it doesn't have to stop with the Carnaval di Massafra.
That's right.
It can be a springboard to discovering other festivals and traditions.
I like that.
Whether they're in your own backyard or on the other side of the world.
Every community has its own unique ways of celebrating, commemorating, and expressing themselves.
It's what makes our world so vibrant.
Definitely.
And diverse.
And I think that's what makes these deep dives so rewarding.
I agree.
We get to peek into these different corners of the world.
Right.
Learn about different cultures.
Yeah.
Connect with something larger than ourselves.
It's a reminder that despite our differences, we share a common human experience.
We do.
We all have stories to tell, traditions to cherish, and a desire to connect with others.
So, the next time you come across a festival or a celebration, whether it's big or small, familiar or unfamiliar,
take a moment to appreciate the layers of meaning woven into it.
The history, the artistry, the social dynamics, and the sheer human effort.
That goes into making it happen.
You might be surprised at what you discover.
Oh, yeah.
You might find yourself connecting with a community, a tradition, or even a part of yourself that you never knew existed.
And that's the magic of the deep dive.
It is.
It's about opening ourselves up to new experiences. Expanding our understanding of the world. And celebrating the richness of human culture.
In all its forms.
Until next time. Keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Keep learning and keep celebrating.
Absolutely.
Those things that make life worth living.
And who knows? Maybe one day our paths will cross at the Carnaval di Massafra.
I hope so.
We'll be the ones with the big smiles, soaking in the energy, marveling at the artistry of those incredible floats.
Until then,
good time.
Happy deep diving.